Hello everyone, I am the Old Connoisseur, and welcome to my review on the 10th episode of the 8th season of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, also known as the Breakup Breakdown. Oh my, this episode was astonishing. It was really good. It had great morals, it had the return of Ogres and Oubliettes, it had Discord and the CMC, which I wasn't even expecting. It was great because I just was not considering the fact that this would be a good opportunity to have the trio of Big Mac, Spike, and Discord. And, I mean, the CMC, we've seen them in past Hearts and Who's Day episodes and, the first one. So, having them return for this special occasion and this special, Valentine's Day episode makes sense, yet, personally, I just didn't see it coming. I don't know. Nonetheless, it was just a great episode, and I enjoyed it. The episode is all about, basically, Discord and Spike helping Big Mac not only, recover from what he thinks is a breakup with Sugar Belle, but trying to both win her back or to forget about his problems. And the reason why this all happens is because Big Mac bakes a pie for Sugar Belle with a note inside asking to meet him at the Sweet Apple Acres in the barn. And the pie accidentally gets smudged and gets sent back to the barn where the CMC are planning on decorating it. And they think that the pie is for Sweetie Belle, and throughout the episode we see that they're going around town trying to find out who is this secret admirer that made this pie for them. Nonetheless, Spike, Big Mac, and Discord see Sugar Belle at Mrs. Cake's bakery, and they see that she's here early, and they overhear her saying these things like, he won't have to see me at the village anymore, and stuff that implies that Big Mac is being broken up by Sugar Belle. And they're hidden, and Sugar Belle doesn't see this, so Big Mac freaks out thinking that Sugar Belle is breaking up with him. And in the meantime, it's clear and evident that Sugar Belle is not breaking up with him, and that it's just something to do with Mrs. Cake. And we even see halfway through the episode that Mrs. Cake says, don't say we need to talk in a stern manner because he's going to think you're breaking up with him. And Sugar Belle basically says, there's no way he would think that. And that's because she doesn't realize that they overheard their conversation. So Spike and Discord basically have a gentleman's agreement where Spike is going to try to show Discord that love is real, despite secretly Spike knows that Discord believes in love because him and Fluttershy share a very special bond as friends. And, they even jab at Discord saying, like, you don't go to visit Fluttershy just for the tea, and I found that to be very funny. So Discord and Spike try different methods of cheering Big Mac up. Discord, of course, is trying to be all cool and saying how if you love yourself, you won't get hurt. And, that's an interesting concept because when I'm thinking about it, yeah, it sort of makes sense. If you love yourself and, consider everyone else that you like, maybe friends, but not love, you're less inclined to be hurt if a friend leaves you. I've said this to some friends before, right? If you are friends with lots and lots of people, if you're in lots and lots of groups, you run the risk of getting into drama or losing those friends. And if you don't like the feeling of losing any friend, it's a bad thing for you. And you need to have a smaller circle of close friends who you can trust. And you need to prepare yourself if anything happens, if any drama happens in which they do leave. Now, Spike, of course, is on the opposite side of this. Spike believes in love and everything. He's trying to show Big Mac that maybe the best thing to do is to hide away from your problems. And I will say, Spike says something, and Discord says something too. They both have a couple of flaws in this episode, but Spike basically says she can't break up with you if she can't see you. So he says to Big Mac that he should hide. Now, this doesn't make any sense, because if you're left at the altar, it's clear that the person doesn't like you anymore, or whatever. I mean, I know that usually leaving somebody at the altar is like a comedic thing for shows, but the point is that someone can not tell you that they're breaking up with you, and yeah, that's really awful, but they still broke up with you, and, they obviously don't like you. Discord, despite being at the beginning sort of manipulative, but in a sort of friendly, advice-giving way, later through the episode, you see him, on Big Mac's shoulder, like the whole, angel devil on your shoulder kind of thing in cartoons. And Discord was being manipulative to the point of it being, really bad. Obviously Discord isn't evil anymore, but it was sort of maniacal. That being said, later towards the episode, when Big Mac finally confronts Sugar Belle, saying that, I'm going to break up with you first because that was what Discord suggested to him, Sugar Belle, is just confused, and Big Mac explains how words can hurt and how, that's why he doesn't like talking. And we have a really good moment there because, we've seen in previous episodes, the whole flashback with Big Mac and Applejack when they were younger with lying and whatnot, and how Big Mac got in trouble for talking so much. So obviously it's episodes like this where we're waiting and waiting for Big Mac to speak because we know it's an episode that he's going to speak in. So he explains, like I said, that words can hurt and that's why he doesn't like talking, and that shows just more of his personality, which I really like. And Big Mac goes back to the barn and yells at Sweetie Belle, basically, because Sweetie Belle wants his help in finding out who this secret admirer is, which is sort of a comedic aspect of the episode because they don't realize what's going on with the whole pie and the mail. And Big Mac takes his anger out on Sweetie Belle, but Sweetie Belle is super mature and says that she understands that he was venting to her and that it probably felt good to get his feelings out. And that I relate to so well, you would have no idea. I let people vent to me all the time, and I vent to people, and I know that I feel better when I vent. I think that it really is a really good way to get your feelings out. So once Big Mac realizes that venting and getting your feelings out and talking can be the solution to things, he goes back to try to find Sugar Belle, who is packing up her things and leaving Ponyville. And Sugar Belle's wheel breaks off of her carriage, which is just enough time for Big Mac to catch up to her and explain that he would not trade this feeling away for anything and that he really does love her. And he finally says that he overheard Sugar Belle talking and saying things that implied that they were breaking up. And, of course, they're not going to actually break up. We knew this. But the reason was that Sugar Belle has a cousin who was going to be running the pie shop in the village, and that is why Big Mac won't see her in the village anymore. And she also explains that she will be apprenticing at Mrs. Cake's bakery, which is really nice because obviously now we're going to see her more, hopefully in the background at least, of future episodes. And I forgot to mention this, but that's what Spike said at the very beginning of the episode when trying to cheer Big Mac up, saying, I bet that the reason is this, but he says that he doesn't even buy that himself, when it turns out that that was the reason. And once I heard that, I was like, yeah, that's going to be what ends up happening, and, so they're going to be, like, face-palming, because, guess I was right, basically. Now, something about Discord is that throughout the episode, obviously, he's trying to be very stubborn and not believe in love. And we see him trying to, mess with this, ship in a bottle, and he's just, shrugging everything Spike is saying off and basically ignoring it all. However, we learn that Discord was in fact the one who broke the wheel off of Sugar Belle's carriage. He outright says it, causing Sugar Belle to be delayed in her exit from Ponyville, which allows Big Mac to catch up to her. So, it's basically a matter of the fact that Discord had a lot of emotion in this episode. A lot of back and forth, because in one part, he is shrugging it off, he's not believing in love. In another part, he's manipulating Big Mac to try to break up with her. And in the end, he actually tries to help Big Mac feel better because he does consider Big Mac and Spike friends, so he wants Big Mac to be happy, and so he actually helps Big Mac indirectly to reach Sugar Belle. And, there was just so much going on in this episode, because I like how we had segments with just Big Mac, Spike, and Discord. We just had segments with the CMC. We had, towards the middle end of the episode, everyone's together. And the moral of just communication, obviously, that was a big moral, but there was also the moral of just venting being a coping method to get your emotions out and to feel better and to also trust your friends. So again, we had more than one moral. That being said, the communication moral was just outright spit it on her face at the end, it wasn't even, so subtle because Sugar Belle outright said, I bet there's a lesson in communication here, and that, you know me, I don't like that so much, but that's just me. Anyway, that's really about it. There's just so much happening in this episode. Obviously, a lot of pony couples in the background. We see some new designs for these male ponies working with Derpy, which was always nice to see. So, yeah, please, share your thoughts below. As always, I love to hear them. I love to reply, and I love to just, see what you have to say about the episode. So, as always, I am the MLP Connoisseur. I thank you for your time, and I will see you in the next episode, react, review, synopsis, whatever.